no matter how many times I go back and fight that, it's just, wow. Once you see that ending, it's like you start crying.
I'm just confused. Why is his stomach bleeding?
See, that I still haven't figured out. Like it says at the beginning of the game, you are suffering from a sickness. But what is that sickness? Because when you first start the game, there's no wounds on you at all.
Yeah.
You just cough and judgment shows up.
I don't know.
All I can think is maybe the sickness just finally bled through his wounds or something.
Possibly.
Actually, thinking about it, did you notice the color of the blood?
It was...
It was red. It wasn't pink.
Maybe he did get the cure.
Maybe.
Or maybe because he defeated Judgment and he destroyed the ultimate power, which was the same color where he was coughing the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he, because of the sacrifice, it's possible he probably took it all in.
Maybe. Yeah, being down there too long, it's possible.
And then on top of it, if you remember at the very beginning of the game, the world was red. Now it's blue. Maybe he took that... Maybe it wasn't so much he was looking for a cure for his own sickness.
Yeah.
But in return, what he ended up doing was destroying the sickness so that way no one else could get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you saw that floating data above the whole land. That's been looming over the entire time.
And now it's gone.
Yeah. Anubis still confuses me too, because it looks like he's at the center of the whole cause, but it was Judgment instead.
There's still so many unanswered questions, and that's what I love. You can still be like, what if this, and what if that?
So many theories. And based on what people have found out about the story, they have kind of similar thoughts. It's like Anubis is either a good guy, a villain, or just the puppeteer. Because if you think about it, it makes more sense that Anubis is the puppeteer because he led the Mister too.
He did.
It's possible he was leading the other drifters as well.
But for what cause?
Isn't there something in like the history of Egyptian gods that Anubis was the bringer of death?
You know?
That would make sense tarot card wise too, Anubis being death.
So then...
Let me just make sure of this, because I don't remember my Egyptian history very well. Let's see, Anubis. Greek god associated with mummification and the afterlife. God of funerals and death. That makes a lot more sense now. Because the death card and the tarot card is not the worst card in the deck. Death means the end of something old and the beginning of something new.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And what was Judgment again?
Judgment. Judgment is inevitable. You will always be judged. Let me bring up good meanings of the tarot cards here. I can only remember so many. I'll just look up Judgment. Judgment, rebirth, inner calling, absolution. The reverse is self-doubt, refusal, or self-examination. Go away. Which makes sense. The explosion at the beginning that killed everything, absolution, absolute destruction. But the way he kept showing up after we got 4 of those modules, inner calling. Rebirth, the form he takes on outside of the immortal cell. Self-doubt, he always showed you that premonition because he didn't believe you could actually defeat him. Which also brings out refusal. And I guess his form, which shows self-examination, his form showed that he wanted everything to end. That makes a lot of sense.
Oh, man.
Magician. Power, skill, concentration, and action, as well as resourcefulness. The reversed, manipulation, poor planning, latent talents. Oh wow, that really makes sense for the protagonist.
Considering everything that he did.
Yeah. And you never actually really grew any more powerful, it was the weapons you carried. You still had the same skills and talents when you started. Being manipulated by judgment. And Anubis.
So we were just the pawns.
Apparently. Let's see. Hierophant was a false prophet. Religion, group identification, conformity, traditional beliefs. Reverse was restriction, challenging up to status quo. Yeah, well, they did challenge until they met their death.
Oh, goodness. Oh, good lord, there's a lot of names.
Oh, yeah.
I just noticed in B's, I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yep. You can skip them at least.
Or I could just crash.
Oh, come on!
Or I could just crash.
I think it auto-saves before the credits at least.
Oh my goodness. You know, it wouldn't be a session without it crashing.
Fair point.
It would not be a session without it crashing. Oh my goodness.
Ooh, I wonder if the chariot would describe the mister then. The upright for the chariot is control, willpower, victory, and assertion, as well as determination, whereas the reversed is lack of control and direction and aggression.
Oh, back. Hold up. But my screen looks different.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, would you stop that? Oh my. Oh God.
You closed it.
I hit wrong buttons.
Okay. Instead of clicking continue game, go to your load save file.
All right. God, stop minimizing. Stay big.